If you thought the WNBA had already hit top speed, grab the seatbelt with both fists and yank. Caitlin Clark is about to tighten the throttle until the engine shrieks like an F-16. 5 weeks ago, her left quad mutinied, the lights inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse dimmed, and the entire league slipped into a collective withdrawal. Ticket prices cratered to popcorn money levels, TV audiences cleaved in half, and newspaper columnists swapped highlight reels for obituary language. Corporate partners who once brag-posted Hotch Clark effect on LinkedIn went radio silent and started refreshing spreadsheets with dread. Now the prodigal flamethrower is cleared for takeoff, and her landing strip is painted in neon. The reigning champion New York Liberty, the very squad whose help defense clipped her leg in May. She's a live warhead pointed straight at Barclays Center, one that promises to detonate the standings, the Nielsen charts, and probably a couple of brand managers' blood pressure cuffs. Analysts already warn a single Clark comeback game could outrate Game 3 of the NBA Finals if the pace is torrid enough. But this isn't just a story of healed tendons. The Downtime Sculpted version 2.0, a sideline strategist who spent midnight hours binge-watching every opponent's ATO sets, scribbling counters on hotel stationery, and drafting an arsenal of plays with code names like Logo Loop, Quad Quake, and Edge of Infinity. Imagine Steph Curry's shooting range married to Jason Kidd's floor vision, then filter it through Kobe's obsession with practice reps. That's the meteor entering Earth's atmosphere. No heat shield thick enough. Social platforms simmered the second Clark limped off. Half the timeline prayed for her speedy recovery. The other half uncorked jealousy like warm soda. Meme pages accused her of media privilege. Burner accounts weaponized slow-motion clips to call her overrated. And fringe pundits floated conspiracy theories about stat padding. Into that digital maelstrom marched Candace Parker, live on national TV, smile fixed, tone surgical. Anyone who truly loves this game lifts the next generation, she fired, eyes locked on the camera like laser sights. The subtext was napalm. Stop counting jerseys by pigmentation. Stop rewriting box scores to soothe fragile egos. Grow up or get posterized by progress. Lisa Leslie joined with an economic uppercut. The Clark effect is a rising tide. Fewer empty upper bowls, more broadcast windows, better paychecks for everybody. Stephen A. Smith fanned the flames with a Jordan parallel that tore through Twitter like a twister across a wheat fields. Within 24 hours, the hashtag jealousy agenda hashtag hit top 5, mostly populated by fans mocking haters with screen captures of their deleted takes. Clip after clip froze critics mid-grimace, replaying the exact second they realized Parker had spiked the argument into next week. Influencers stitched reaction videos, labeling it the mic drop heard round the WNBA. Overnight, search traffic for Candace Parker quote outpaced WNBA highlights, and anti-Clark opinion pieces lost half their engagement. Lesson engraved in granite, legends build legends, bitterness benches itself while the turnstiles keep spinning without you. Exhibit A of Clark's gravitational pull, $3 seats, yes, $3. The price of vending machine pretzels. The first Clarkless home date looked like a dress rehearsal. Ushers scanning empty rows, kids finishing nachos before tip-off, sponsors quietly pulling concourse activations. Ion Television announced 851,000 viewers and still claimed a season high because every other matchup that week slipped beneath 500,000. Scalpers, those eternally optimistic capitalists, threw in the towel faster than a boxer with a cut eyelid. StubHub listings dropped so low, bots refused to auto-purchase. On Reddit, a user posted, "Just got courtside for the cost of 2 gas station hot dogs. I feel both blessed and cursed." Meanwhile, local restaurants reported same-night revenue plunges of 20%. The Metropolitan Transit Authority sliced late-night service, citing event downgrades. Here's the kicker. That revenue sinkhole became a vacuum chamber sucking in pent-up demand. Fan forums plotted road trips for Clark return date circles in bright marker. Brokers pre-packed dynamic pricing algorithms. ESPN moved a men's MLS broadcast to sub-channel so they could simulcast Fever Liberty coast to coast. $3 sorrow birthed $300 frenzy. And the economy of scarcity proved the original point. One superstar's quad is the master dial on an entire league's oxygen supply. Remove number 22, and the previously spunky Fever plummeted into defensive coma. Opponents sliced through pick and rolls like hot knives through warm butter. 50 paint points, second chance boards galore, interior rotations arriving 3 seconds late. Aaliyah Boston, Rookie of the year a season ago looked like a stationary bollard through no fault of her own. The guards up top allowed unchallenged downhill drives all night. The bench, rustier than a pier piling. Local beat writers coined the phrase Indie Ice Age. But humiliation can be fertilizer. Coach Stephanie White sidelined herself by illness, sent marathon voice notes ripping into film errors. Players endured Hoosier-style conditioning drills, rope sprints, wall sits, mouthguard suicides. In a players-only meeting, veteran Christy Wallace supposedly slammed a whiteboard marker and snarled, "We're not cardboard cutouts, let's play like we care." That spark would soon matter, because a cyclone in size 5 sneakers was about to blow the doors open. Enter Arai McDonald, hardship signee, 5'6" with springs for calves and absolutely zero interest in easing into the playbook. In her debut, she posted 3 steals, 4 deflections, 2 coast-to-coast layups, and a plus-minus of +18 in 16 minutes. She's caffeine. Kelsey Mitchell laughed post-game. Fans had whiplash. 1 week they were doom-scrolling blowouts. The next they watched McDonald splash a buzzer-beating pull-up to seal a revenge win over Washington. Against Chicago, she turned it up to cartoon levels, fronting passing lanes, forcing a backcourt violation, then hitting Lexi Hull in stride for a dagger 3. The Fever piled up a +62 combined margin in back-to-back nights, sending Sky Twitter into meltdown. Souvenir stands printed "Are you serious?" shirts and sold out by halftime. Opponent scouting reports updated her status from depth piece to must pressure 94 feet or she will gate crash your highlight reel. In short, the hardship kid didn't just plug a hole, she laid down a hype soundtrack for Caitlin's imminent headline act. Zoom the lens back to Clark's limp. Amateur detectives on RWNBA compiled a 14-minute supercut of suspect plays. A stutter on a baseline curl, a grimace after a routine rebound, a noticeably flatter lift on her step back. Orthopedic Twitter chimed in, citing quad tendon strain degrees and rehab timelines. Sports Law TikTok speculated about insurance riders exceeding $25 million. If Indiana knowingly ran her at 70%, they flirted with corporate malpractice. If they didn't, they risked a fan revolt demanding transparency. Either way, the speculation ballooned the legend. She did that on one leg. Imagine when she's whole. Insiders leaked phrases like cryogenic chamber, blood flow restriction cuffs, and even NASA treadmill to fuel mystique. Every drip of rehab intel only inflated the anticipation, and Vegas eventually yanked Fever game props off the board until her medical status cleared. Quad still throbbing, Clark treated rehab like a postgraduate fellowship in strategy. She commandeered an iPad, built a color-coded playlist of every opponent's favorite sideline out-of-bounds set, then delivered mini presentations at shoot-arounds. Teammates joked they'd re-enroll in college just to register for Clarkonomics 101. Staffers caught her whisper coaching in Aaliyah Boston's ear about high-low seals, diagramming a ghost screen for Lexi Hull, even suggesting a defensive switch scheme tweak that shaved 6 points off opponents per 100 possessions over a 3-game span. On nights off, she replayed Liberty film, pausing to shout, "That corner tag, see how slow it is? That's where I'll live." She didn't stop there. She Zoom called a biomechanics specialist from her Iowa days for extra ankle flexion drills, then FaceTimed high school mentor Debbie O'Rourke to recalibrate her release arc. By the time the quad passed all hop tests, Clark was carrying a binder thicker than some GM scouting packets, and her range never left. Critics may fear her shooting, coaches now fear her clipboard. Cosmic symmetry rarely misses. Clark's return date locks onto the Liberty, the champs whose help defender inadvertently clipped her quad. Secondary market tickets spiked to 4-digit territory. Some fans sell weekend beach reservations to bankroll lower bowl seats. ESPN converts a scheduled tape delay broadcast into live coast-to-coast coverage and flexes an MLB game to its family of networks. Barclays Center upgrades Wi-Fi capacity by 30% just to handle real-time social chatter. A drone camera is approved to hover above half court so producers can cut to a logo cam angle every time Clark dares a 32-footer. Advertisers salivate. The first post-injury swish could outtrend a Taylor Swift release. Meanwhile, the Liberty quietly tweaked offensive rules in practice, switching everything above the break, gluing Betnijah Laney onto Clark like static cling. They know movie sequels rarely favor the villain. Insert Angel Reese. Her marketing aura is undeniable, but the stat line, 2 for 7, 4 points, 9 boards, triggers ruthless memes calling her an influencer who rebounds. Now picture Clark's meteor shower back in orbit. Every Reese miss will ricochet through highlight channels. Every Reese make will be framed as survival, not supremacy. League sources confirm she's launching 300 catch-and-shoot trays nightly, coached by a shooting guru imported from Houston. Yet time is a furnace. stress. Social media merciless, brand reps anxious, hot take shows lining up monologues. In a WNBA hooked on narrative arcs, Reese has two paths: step into the protagonist's arena, or resign herself to walk on cameo in someone else's blockbuster. The Fever survived a month in the wilderness, and the League survived a month on life support, but the exile ends now. Ticket sites ping dynamic pricing algorithms every 5 minutes. TV schedulers stash extra commercials for overflow demand. Concession vendors triple popcorn inventory. Wall Street odds makers measure future media rights deals and Clark-adjusted viewers per minute. History already showed that one Clark crossover can viral spike an entire ecosystem. When Friday's opening buzzer rattles, the decibel surge may outstrip a jet runway. On site, online, on every ticker. Caitlin Clark returns at a flawless 100%. The sniper's wrist now married to the strategist's mind, and gravity, league-wide, feels optional. Grab your jumbo popcorn, maybe a welding mask for stray sparks. This isn't a comeback, it's a hostile takeover by pure entertainment value. That first bounce you hear? Not a dribble. An entire sport losing its bearings. Warm-up is over. Welcome to the Caitlin Clark apocalypse, patched, upgraded, and ready to smash the reset button on women's basketball.